Now the features of conditions or features of Vedic age. First, we will see the social conditions of Rig Vedic period. The Rig Vedic period, they followed the patriarchal society, patriarchal joint family system. Patriarchal joint family system was followed. A male was male head. A male head was the head of the joint family, and he was called as Kulapa. Kulapa means senior most male. So male head was the head of the joint family. He was called as Kulapa, and a class divided the society. Means the society was divided into classes and artham. The society was divided into classes, that is priestly class, warriors and commoners. Priestly class, warriors, and then commoners. So the professional and social mobility was observed. Professional and social mobility అనేది it was observed, and interclass marriages were allowed, and the caste is an endogamous unit. Endogamous unit అంటే inter unit, a marriage within the endogamous అంటే a marriage within the social group, that is inter, that is the caste. And caste is an endogamous అంటే ఇన్సైడ్ సోషల్ గ్రూప్లో జరిగేది ఎండోగామస్ అనమాట. కాస్ట్ అనేది ఇట్ వాస్ ఎండోగామస్ యూనిట్, అండ్ గోత్ర వాస్ అన్ ఎక్సోగామస్, దట్ ఈస్ ఇంట్రా క్లాసెస్ అనమాట. క్లాసెస్ మధ్యలో ఒక గోత్రానికి చెందిన వాళ్ళందరూ ఒక క్యాస్ట్లో ఒక గ్రూప్లో ఉంటారనమాట. సో ద ఇన్ ఎక్సోగామస్ అంటే ద కస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ మ్యారింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ ది కమ్యూనిటీ ఇస్ ఎక్సోగామస్. ఎండోగామస్ ఈజ్ అ custom of marrying within the social group. So caste is an endogamous unit and Gotra is an exogamous unit. So Gotra has been first mentioned in the Rig Veda. Rig Veda, Gotra literally means cow pen, a common cow rearing group. A common cow rearing group ni cows ని ఎవరైతే చూస్తూ ఉంటారో షెపర్డ్ లాగా, గోత్ర అంటే కౌ పెన్ అని అర్థం. కామన్ కౌ రేరింగ్ గ్రూప్స్ అనే వాళ్ళని కౌ పెన్స్ అంటారు. సో ఇట్ వాస్ గోత్ర వాస్ ఫస్ట్ మెన్షన్డ్ ఇన్ రిగ్వేద. ద ఇంటర్ క్లాస్ అండ్ ఇంటర్ కాస్ట్ మ్యారేజెస్ ఆర్ ఆఫ్ టూ టైప్స్. ఇంటర్ క్లాస్ and the intercaste marriages are of two types, that is anulom means higher class man marrying a lower caste woman. That is anulom means a higher caste man marrying a lower caste woman. Example Shantanu and Satyavati. The next type of marriage is pratiloma, anuloma, pratiloma. Pratiloma was lower caste man marrying a higher caste woman. Hence have provided, so a marriage between a lower caste man and a higher caste woman hence have provided a story of a marriage between a kshatriya male and a brahmin female. Example Yayati and Devayani. Yayati and Devayani stories lo marriage between a kshatriya male and a brahmin female, Yayati and Devayani. So the Rig Vedic people allowed these two types of marriages, and also they had allowed the interdining system. Interdining system was also allowed. So from Sailaja ma'am notes వచ్చి family was regarded as a social and political unit. Social and political unit. So it was the nucleus of the social life of the early Aryans. Family was the nucleus of the social life of the early Aryans. The father was the head of the family, and he was known as the Grihapati or Dhammapati. Grihapati, the father was the head of the family, Grihapati or Dharmapati. ఇక్కడేమో కులప అని చెప్పారు కరీం సార్ నోట్స్. It was the family was, society was patriarchal. The Aryans had joint families, and the father had great authority over the children. The monogamy was practiced, but polygamy was observed among the royalty and the noble families. Cattle, especially cows, became very very important. The kinship was the basis of the social structure అని చెప్తున్నారు. కిన్షిప్ అంటే అందరు కలిసి ఉండడం, కిన్స్తో పాటు సిబ్లింగ్స్తో పాటు. కిన్షిప్ వాస్ ద బేసిస్ ఆఫ్ ది సోషల్ స్ట్రక్చర్. పీపుల్ గేవ్ దేర్ ప్రైమరీ లాయల్టీ టు ద ట్రైబ్ విచ్ వాస్ called as Jana. Their primary loyalty to the tribe. People gave their primary loyalty to the tribe which was called as Jana. Tribe was Jana. Another important term which stands for the tribe in the Rig Veda is Vish or Jana. Rig Vedic term ఏది which stands for tribe, it is Vish. and it is Jana also. The term for family is Kula, and Kulapa means the senior most person in the family. Kula family, the term for family Kula is also mentioned rarely in the Rigveda. Rigvedalo it is the term Kula is mentioned for family, and Rigvedalo for the tribe Vish అనే వర్డ్ కూడా యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇట్ సీమ్స్ దట్ ఫ్యామిలీ ఈజ్ in the early Vedic phase was indicated by the term Griha. In the early Vedic phase ఫ్యామిలీని గృహ అని పిలిచేవాళ్ళు. రిగ్వేదాలో ఫ్యామిలీని కుల అని పెట్టారు. విష్ ఆర్ జన ఈస్ ట్రైబ్, కుల ఆర్ గృహ ఈస్ ఫ్యామిలీ. Now Sinaya sir notes lo, it was a patriarchal society. It was a patriarchal society with father as the head of the family, called as Grihapati or Dhammapati. So the lineage means blood relationship was the basis, kinship was the basis of social structure. Annama lineage or blood relationship or kinship was the basis for the family system. Families of the same blood relationships formed into a clan called Kula. Kula means family. They formed into a clan with the head of the clan called as Kulapati. The head of the clan means Kulapa anamga, Kulapati emo. Head of the family called as, the blood families of the same blood relationships they formed into a clan first. The ఇప్పుడు families మనం joint families లో 3-4 ఫ్యామిలీస్ ఉంటాం. దే ఆల్ ఫార్మ్ ఇంటూ అ క్లాన్. ఆ క్లాన్ ఏమని పిలుస్తాం, కులా అని పిలుస్తాం. ఓకే, దట్ అండ్ ద హెడ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ క్లాన్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as కులపతి. ద ఎవల్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ ద వర్ణ సిస్టమ్ వాజ్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ డెవలప్మెంట్. సో ఇట్ డెవలప్డ్ అండర్ 3 stages. ఓకే, ఎవల్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ ద వర్ణ సిస్టమ్, ఇక్కడ ఇంకా వర్ణ సిస్టమ్ డెవలప్ కాకపోయినా ఎవల్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ ద వర్ణ సిస్టమ్ హ్యాడ్ డెవలప్. ఓకే, ఇన్ ద ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్ ద ఫేర్ స్కిన్డ్ ఆర్యన్స్ ఫస్ట్ కాల్డ్ దెమ్సెల్వ్స్ యాజ్ శ్వేతవర్ణాస్. ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్లో ఏం చేశారు, ద ఫేర్ స్కిన్ ఆరియన్స్ ఏం చేశారంటే, ద ఫస్ట్ స్కిన్ ఆరియన్స్ దే కాల్డ్ దెమ్సెల్వ్స్ యాజ్ శ్వేతవర్ణ. ఓకే, అండ్ ద డార్క్ స్కిన్ నాన్ ఆరియన్స్ వేర్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ కృష్ణవర్ణాస్. శ్వేతవర్ణ అండ్ కృష్ణవర్ణాస్. ఓకే, సెకండ్ స్టేజ్లో ఏం చేశారంటే, ద సిస్టమ్ గాట్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ విత్ ఆక్యుపేషన్. దట్ ఈస్ డివైడింగ్ సిస్టమ్ గాట్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్, దిస్ క్లాస్ సిస్టమ్ గాట్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ విత్ ఆక్యుపేషన్, dividing the society into Brahma, that is the teacher or the priest, and Kshatriya. Brahmanas, the teacher or the priest, the Kshatriya, ruler or the administrator, the Vaishyas, the farmers, merchants and the bankers, Varnas. Okay, and the Shudras అనేవాళ్ళు the artisans and the laborers. Artisans అంటే craftsmen. Artisans and the laborers were part of Aryan society, but without the Varna status. They were not given this Shudras, the artisans, the laborers. They were part of the Aryan society, unnar Aryan society lo, but they were not given the Varna status. Okay, the non-Aryan slaves, non-Aryans who were not at all the part of Aryan society, the non-Aryan slaves అనేవాళ్ళు, they were called as dasas. They were called as dasas, who constituted the lowest section of the society. The dasyas were the independent non-Aryans. So the dasyas అనేవాళ్ళు ఈ non-Aryans, they were non-Aryans, they were independent non-Aryans అన్నమాట వీళ్ళు. So the Varna system was very much flexible without any restrictions. Okay, the Varna system అనేది it was very much flexible without any restrictions. The inter-Varna marriages and the dining were permitted. Inter-Varna marriages and dinings were permitted. The change of Varna by changing the occupation also was allowed. So now banker or the merchant can learn Vedas and he can become a Brahmana. So the change of the Varna, he can become a teacher. So the change of the Varna by changing the occupation also was allowed. It was an egalitarian society giving more freedom and liberty to the women. The position of the women గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం ఇప్పుడు. In the Vedic society, it was an egalitarian society giving more freedom and liberty to the women. Women were permitted to study the Vedas, to perform the rituals and to take part in the proceedings of the Samiti. To study the Vedas, to perform the rituals and to take part in the proceedings of the Samiti. So the great women scholars of the age like were Gargi, even challenged the greatest rishis of that time, that is Yajnavalkya Maharshi of the Mithila. Gargi had challenged the greatest rishi of that time, Yajnavalkya Maharshi of Mithila. The Niyog system, that is widow remarriage, were allowed by allowing the widow to marry the younger brother of her deceased husband. Widow remarriages were allowed. There were no social evils like the child marriages, dowry system, the sati, and the untouchability in the Rigvedic society. So it's no social evils, that is child marriages, dowry system, sati, and untouchability in the Rigvedic society. Again the same, the position of women, the institution of marriage was established, although symbols of primitive practices survived. So marriage and institution it had established, okay, symbols of the, but although there were symbols of primitive practices survived. Okay, we also notice the practice of levirate and widow remarriages. Practice of levirate and widow remarriages in the Rig Veda. The status of women was equal to men, and they received upanayana and education. They received upanayanas and also education. They studied Vedas, and some of them even rose to the rank of seers. They rose to the rank of seers, 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 by composing the Vedic hymns. So monogamy was established, though polygamy and polyandry were also known. The Varna system. Varna was the term used for the color, and it seems that the Aryans were fair and the indigenous inhabitants of India were dark in complexion. The Dasas and the Dasyus, who were conquered by the Aryans, the Dasas and the Dasyus and the people who were conquered by the Aryans were treated as slaves, and the Shudras slaves and Sudras. The tribal society was divided into three groups, that is Kshatriyas, warriors, priests, Brahmins, and Vaishyas. The fourth division, called as Shudras, appeared towards the end of the Rigvedic period. Only till the end of Rigvedic period, Sudras Uchar. In the age of Rigveda, the divisions based on occupations had started, but this division was not very sharp. So women's position in the early Vedic age, women enjoyed an honored place in the society. So the wife was the mistress of the house, and she had authority over the slaves. Okay, in all, she was the mistress of the household, and she had authority over the slaves. In all the religious ceremonies, she participated with her husband in all the religious ceremonies. So the Parda system was not prevalent in the society. Sati system was also not prevalent. No child marriages, and social distinctions existed but were not rigid, and it was not hereditary. The education of the girls was not neglected. The Rig Veda mentions the names of some learned ladies like Lopamudra. Rig Veda mentions names of ladies like Lopamudra, Vishwavara, Apala and Ghosha, who composed mantras. Apala and Ghosha, who composed mantras and attained the rank of rishis. The girls were married after attaining the puberty. Practice of this Swayamvara was also prevalent in the society. Polygamy was, of course, practiced, and it was confined only to the kings and the chiefs. Remarriage of widows were also permitted. The food and drink of those people. The Aryans ate both vegetable and animal foods. Rice, they ate both animal, veg and non-veg. Okay, rice, barley, beans, sesame formed their staple food. Rice, barley, beans, sesame formed their staple food. Milk and its products, okay, that is curd, butter, and ghee, formed an important part of their diet. Milk and its products. There is also mention about a grain cooked with milk, that is grain which is cooked with milk, that is Kshira Paka Mudanam. క్షీరపాక మదనం ఏమో అది. క్షీరపాక మదనం అంటే మేబీ పాయసం అలా అనేవాళ్ళేమో. గ్రెయిన్ కుక్డ్ విత్ మిల్క్, దట్ ఈస్ క్షీరపాక మదనం. So there is also then bread or chapati of wheat and barley was eaten with mixed with ghee. Bread made out of wheat and barley was eaten with ghee, and not only were fish, birds, wild animals like boar, antelopes, and buffalo eaten, but on ceremonial occasions, the meat of animals which were sacrificed, such as sheep, goat, buffalo, were also eaten. Fish తినేవాళ్ళు, birds తినేవాళ్ళు, wild animals like boar, antelopes, and buffaloes అవి తినేవాళ్ళు. బట్ సెరిమనీస్ అప్పుడు సాక్రిఫైస్ ఇచ్చిన యానిమల్స్ని కూడా తినేవాళ్ళు. బఫెలో, షీప్, గోట్ వాటిని కూడా తినేవాళ్ళు. ద కౌ వాస్ ఆల్రెడీ డీమ్డ్ యాజ్ ఆగ్నేయ and not to be killed. Agnyaya and it not to be killed. Cow. The Vedas prescribed a penalty of death or expulsion from the kingdom to those who kill or injure the cows. And alcoholic drinks like sura and soma were also consumed. Alcoholic drinks like surapanam antam sura and soma were also consumed. And amusements of Rigvedic people. Rigvedic people spent their leisure time in various amusements like గ్యాంబ్లింగ్ అండ్ జూదం ఆడేవాళ్ళు, గ్యాంబ్లింగ్ అండ్ వార్ చేసుకునేవాళ్ళు. దెన్ they were dancing, they had chariot racing, and they were hunting, they were boxing, they were dancing and music and all those. హంటింగ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు, రాజులు అప్పట్లో హంటింగ్ చేసేవాళ్ళ, బాక్సింగ్, కత్తి యుద్ధాలు, మల్ల యుద్ధాలు చేసేవాళ్ళ, డాన్సింగ్ అండ్ మ్యూజిక్, నర్తకి మనులు ఉండేవాళ్ళు. సో చారియట్ రేసింగ్. సో విమెన్ డిస్ప్లేడ్ దేర్ స్కిల్స్ ఇన్ డాన్సింగ్ అండ్ మ్యూజిక్. 3 types of musical instruments like percussion, string and wind were used by the singers. Materials they used by them, they were percussion, means musical instruments like percussion and string and wind were used by the singers. And then so now we talk about the later Vedic period society. Now we saw about the Rigvedic period society. Now we see about the later Vedic period society. The caste was divided and that is society was divided into castes with more rigid and strict principles and practices. With more rigid and strict principles, rigid practices and strict principles తో ఉండిందన్నమాట caste system. That is Chaturvarna system. The caste system was divided into a male Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. It was a male dominated society and most only Anuloma marriages existed and Pratiloma got extinct, and the position of women also got reduced. Abundant liberty was given to the women before. Then polygamy and polyandry were observed, and those was about the position of the women in the early Vedic period. So abundant polygamy and polyandry, child marriages were prohibited, educational opportunities were provided. Female scholars were Gosha, Apala, Vishwavara, Swayamvara, Lepa, Mudra. చెప్పాను సతి అనేది it was not practiced, it was just symbolic, acting as if dead. So Niyoga system was mentioned. Childless widow marrying the brother of deceased husband. Niyoga was a type of widow remarriage అని చెప్పేవాళ్ళము. Now we are talking about అదే లేటర్ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్కి వచ్చేసరికి విమెన్ యొక్క పొజిషన్ ఎలా ఉండిందంటే ద చతుర్వర్ణ సిస్టమ్ డివైడెడ్ ద society into castes. Okay, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas became the Dvijas and Shudras became the Ekajas. So Anulom was only allowed, but Pratiloma marriages were extinct. Women's position got declined very much. Then freedom and their independence were lost, and the child marriages were practiced. No widow remarriages, sati was performed, and polygamy had prevailed, but polyandry అనేది స్టాప్ చేశారు. సో దేర్ వాజ్ అ మ్యారేజ్ సిస్టమ్. ద మ్యారేజ్ సిస్టమ్ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ ఆఫ్ 8 types ఆఫ్ మ్యారేజ్ సిస్టమ్ ఉండిందనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ ద మోస్ట్ ఐడియల్ ఆఫ్ ది మ్యారేజెస్ వాజ్ the important marriages are బ్రహ్మ వివాహ. ఈ మ్యారేజెస్ 8 types ఆఫ్ మ్యారేజెస్ దేంతో కనిపిస్తాయి అంటే మనకు లేటర్ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్లో కనిపిస్తాయి. ఓన్లీ అనులోమ మ్యారేజెస్ వేర్ అలౌడ్ అండ్ ప్రతిలోమ వాజ్ నాట్ అలౌడ్. సో 8 types ఆఫ్ మ్యారేజ్ సిస్టంలో ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ బ్రహ్మ వివాహంలో ఇట్ వాజ్ అరేంజ్డ్ మ్యారేజెస్. బ్రహ్మ వివాహం అంటే అరేంజ్డ్ మ్యారేజెస్ followed with the practices and prescribed, and this was the most ideal type of marriages. Then Daiva Vivaha, it was followed only by the priest. The daughter of a person is taken as dakshina after the ritual. వావ్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు వచ్చి ప్రీస్ట్ మా ఇంట్లో ఒక పూజ చేసి వెళ్ళారంటే అండ్ ఇఫ్ ఐ గివ్ మై డాటర్ యాజ్ అ దక్షిణ టు యూ, then it is called as Daiva Vivaham. It is to be only performed by a priest. Brahma Vivaham, it is normal arranged marriages. Then Arsa Vivaha means groom shall pay, groom ante abbai, he will pay cow and bull as a bride price to the bride. The abbai will pay టు ద అమ్మాయి కౌస్ అండ్ బుల్స్ యాజ్ బ్రైడ్ ప్రైజ్ అనమాట. దట్ ఈస్ అర్స వివాహ. దెన్ ప్రజాపత్య వివాహ మీన్స్ ప్రజాపతి మీన్స్ మ్యారేజ్ పర్ఫార్మ్డ్ విత్ నో ఎకనామిక్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక కౌస్ అండ్ బుల్స్ ఇచ్చారు బ్రైడ్ ప్రైజ్ లాగా. సో ఆల్ దట్ మ్యారేజెస్ పర్ఫార్మ్డ్ విత్ నో ఎకనామిక్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ మీన్స్ ప్రజాపత్య వివాహ. దెన్ గాంధార వివాహ మ్యారేజ్ అట్ ఫస్ట్ సైట్. గాంధార వివాహ మ్యారేజ్ అట్ ద ఫస్ట్ సైట్. సో దిస్ is generally done by the kings. That is Gandhara Vivaha, generally done by the kings. Then Asura Vivaha, marriage by purchase. ఏంటి ప్రజాపత్య వివాహ విత్ నో ఎకనామిక్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. అసుర వివాహ ఈజ్ మ్యారేజ్ బై పర్చేస్. దెన్ రాక్షస వివాహ ఈజ్ మ్యారేజ్ బై ఎలోప్మెంట్, అంటే లేచిపోయి పెళ్లి చేసుకునేది రాక్షస వివాహ. పైశాచిక వివాహ ఈజ్ మ్యారేజ్ బై అబ్డక్షన్. అమ్మాయిని కిడ్నాప్ చేసుకొని వెళ్ళి అబ్డక్ట్ చేసుకొని వెళ్ళి పెళ్లి చేసుకునేది ఇట్ ఈస్ పైశాచ వివాహ. Then according to the senior notes, later Vedic period lo what were the social changes were the flexible varna system of the Rig Vedic age అనేది it became very rigid caste system. It became a very rigid caste system. The difference being that one could change the varna by changing the occupation, but whereas the caste cannot be changed as it was identified with birth. వర్ణం నువ్వు ఆక్యుపేషన్ చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటే నీ వర్ణం చేంజ్ అవ్వచ్చు, కానీ ఇక్కడ రిజిడ్ రూల్స్ వచ్చేయడం వల్ల ద కాస్ట్ అనేది ఇట్ కెనాట్ బి చేంజ్ బికాస్ ద కాస్ట్ ఈస్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ విత్ బర్త్ అని చెప్పారు. సో ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు మెయింటైన్ ద కాస్ట్ హైరార్కీ ద వర్ణాశ్రమ ధర్మాస్ వర్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్డ్ ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం. దట్ ఈస్ వర్ణాశ్రమ ధర్మాలు. ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు మెయింటైన్ ద కాస్ట్ హైరార్కీ వర్ణాశ్రమ ధర్మాస్ వర్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్డ్ ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం. దట్ ఈస్ బ్రహ్మచర్య, గృహపతి, వనప్రస్థ అండ్ సన్యాస. బ్రహ్మచర్య, గృహపతి, వనప్రస్థ అండ్ సన్యాస ఆశ్రమాస్ varnashrama dharmas were introduced in order to maintain the caste hierarchy. In order to maintain the purity of the blood, the gotra system also was introduced, disclosing antecedents. Disclosing the antecedents అంటే showing the antecedents, మన పూర్వీకులు ఎవరు, మన గోత్రం ఏది అని చెప్పడానికి. To maintain the purity of the blood, the gotra system also was introduced, disclosing the antecedents. A new concept of dvijas, that is twice born caste, was introduced for the first time. A new concept of dvija and a new concept of dvijas was introduced. The evil practice of untouchability, oh my god, the evil practice of untouchability appeared for the first time. By birth the untouchables were vratyas anta. By birth the untouchables were vratyas, that is they were born under the anuloma marriage, the marriage between the upper caste man and lower caste women. And the chandalas, by birth the untouchables were vratyas and chandalas. Vratyas ante born under the anuloma marriage. Chandalas born under the pratiloma marriage between lower caste mom and upper caste man and upper caste women. That is untouchables by profession. సో వీళ్ళు untouchables by birth అన్నమాట పైన వాళ్ళు. untouchables by profession were kiratas, that is forest tribesని untouchables చేసేసారు, forest tribesని. that is forest tribes, that is kiratas and antyajas and nishadas who stays outside the villages. outside the villages ఉండేవాళ్ళు antyajas and nishadas who stay outside the villages. So untouchability was prevalent. So నలుగురు చెప్పారు untouchablesలో. సో vratyas who were born out of anuloma marriage, chandalas who were born out of pratiloma marriage, and kiratas who were the forest tribes, antyajas and the nishadas who stay outside the villages. So all the major social evils like the child marriages, sati, dowry system had appeared. The freedom and liberty of the women was curtailed. Again a quick revision, excellence. The later Vedic society అనేది it came to be divided into 4 varnas called the Brahmanas, the Rajanyas or the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas and the Shudras. Each varna was assigned with its duty. All the 3 higher varnas shared one common feature. They were known as Dvijas, that is they were born twice అన్నమాట, twice born అని అర్థం Dvijas, that is they were entitled to Upanayana or investiture with the sacred thread according to the Veda mantras. According to the Veda mantras, they were entitled to Upanayanas. The fourth Varna was deprived of the sacred thread ceremony, and with it began the imposition of disabilities on the Shudras. With it began the imposition of disabilities on the Shudras. The second one is Gotra system. The institution of Gotra appeared in the later Vedic times. Gotra అనేది started. Literally, it means the cow pen or the place where cattle belonging to the whole clan are kept. It is a cow pen, Gotra means. Then people began to practice the Gotra exogamy. Gotra exogamy means గోత్రంతో బయట వేరే వేరే గోత్రాలతో పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడం. No marriage could take place between the persons belonging to the same Gotra or having the same ancestor. Then ashrama system. Ashramas or 4 stages of life were not well established in the earlier Vedic times, but in the post-Vedic text we hear of 4 ashramas: brahmachari or students, grihastha or the householder, vanaprastha or the partial retirement, and the sannyasa or complete retirement from the world. But only 3 are mentioned in the later Vedic text. The last or the 4th stage had not been well established in the later Vedic period. That is 4th ashrama only mentioned in the 4th ashrama, that is sannyas ashramam, is only mentioned in the Jabala Upanishad. Now we shall read about the economy of the Rigvedic age. Rigvedic economy was a pastoral economy. They were dependent on pastures and cows, and agriculture was the secondary activity for staple food, and their staple food was wheat and barley. It was a pastoral economy dependent on cows and pastures, and agriculture was the secondary activity. Main activity was pastoral economy, agriculture secondary activity, staple food was wheat and barley. The food grain that is mentioned in the Rig Veda was yava, అంటే జావలాగా, made from wheat and barley. The food grain mentioned in the Rig Veda was yava made from wheat and barley. And industries are textiles, pottery, carpentry, and copper and bronze industries were there. The term for metal, copper and bronze was aya అనే వర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు అనమాట ఫర్ ద టర్మ్. ఫర్ ద మెటల్ కాపర్ అండ్ బ్రాన్స్కి దే వర్ యూజింగ్ ద టర్మ్ అయా అనే వర్డ్ యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. ఇండస్ట్రీస్ వచ్చి టెక్స్టైల్స్, నార్మల్ టెక్స్టైల్స్, పాటరీ, కార్పెంటరీ అండ్ కాపర్ అండ్ బ్రాన్స్ యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. దెన్ ట్రేడ్ అండ్ కామర్స్ వాస్ వెరీ మచ్ లోకల్ అండ్ ఆర్డినరీ. ఇన్ రిగ్వేద word called Suvarna Nishka is mentioned. Nishka means gold, and gold ornament with fixed value. Suvarna Nishka ante gold ornament with a fixed value and artham. This one was mentioned in Rigveda. Yava was mentioned in the Rigveda, and for metals of copper and bronze it was called as aya. So then the again from La Excellence, the economy was mainly pastoral and agriculture was secondary. The Aryans did not lead a settled life. They did not lead a settled life, although they used several animals. The horse played the most significant role in their life. Although they used several animals, the horse plays the most significant role in their life. The Rig Vedic people possessed better knowledge of the agriculture. Plowshare is mentioned in the earliest part of the Rig Veda. Alone, and they have mentioned the plowshare. Though some consider it an interpolation, they had very good knowledge of the agriculture. The term for the war in Rig Veda is Gavishti, or search for the cows. Gavishti means search for the cows. The Rig Veda mentions such artisans as the carpenter, the chariot maker, the weaver, the leather maker, and the potter. ఈ ఆర్టిసన్స్ అన్నిటినీ రిగ్వేద హ్యాస్ మెన్షన్. సో దిస్ ఇండికేట్స్ దట్ దే ప్రాక్టీస్డ్ ఆల్ దీస్ క్రాఫ్ట్స్. అంటే ఆల్ దీస్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఉన్నాయని అర్థం. కార్పెంటరీ, చారియట్ మేకింగ్, వీవింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, లెదర్ మేకింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, అండ్ పాటరీ, ఆల్ దీస్ were present and artham. So Rig Veda has mentioned the term aya means for copper and bronze, shows that the metal working also was known. Aya for copper and bronze, metal working was known. The trade was scarce, mostly through barter system, local and very much ordinary. Then pottery associated was painted grayware, PGW, painted grayware, Rig Vedic pottery. From Sinaya source notes, economy of Rigvedic period, it was basically a pastoral economy which thrived on cattle population. So this is why cow became very much sacred, because they thrived on pastoral economy. This is why cow became sacred, and it was called as Duhitri. Duhitri ante daughter anartham. Daughter, cow was called as daughter అంటే దుహిత్రి అని అర్థం. సో దేర్ వాస్ వెరీ లెస్ కల్టివేషన్, ఓకే, బికాస్ దే వర్ నోమాడిక్, దే డిడ్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ అ సెటిల్ లైఫ్. ద ఫ్యూ క్రాప్స్ కల్టివేటెడ్ వర్ గోధుమ, గోధుమ ఈజ్ వీట్, యావా, యావా అంటే బార్లీ, అండ్ వ్రిహి, వ్రిహి మీన్స్ రైస్, Vrihi rice, Java barley and Goduma wheat. Due to less cultivation, the economy remained as rural and self-sufficient. Okay, there was no towns during this age, as trade was not fully developed. There was no towns because agriculture agriculture remained rural and self-sufficient. So there was no trade. Okay, no towns were there, as trade, as a result trade was not fully developed. The transaction were by barter system. Then ox were used for ploughing and for drawing the carts, and horses were for drawing the chariots. Horses were used for drawing the chariots. And అప్పట్లోనే for irrigation కి they used manure. Ox was used for ploughing and drawing the carts. Horses were used for chariots. Manure was also used, and for irrigation was also practiced. Okay, copper was used by Aryans. Later iron ore came into existence, came into use, and copper and iron were called as లోహితయాస్. లోహం అంటాము, లోహితయాస్ అనేవాళ్ళు కాపర్ని, ఐరన్ని. అండ్ స్వమయాస్ respective. Copper was called as lohitaya, and iron was called as swamaya respectively. Iron was called as lohitaya, and iron was called as syamaya. So 10 cows were quoted as the price for an image of Indra. Money lending was also known. వీళ్ళకి మనీ లెండింగ్ కూడా తెలుసు. 10 cows were as a price for image of Indra. 10 cows were quoted, and money lending were also known to these people. Now the economy of the later Vedic period. Later Vedic period లో కూడా economy was pastoral economy అనేది ఉండింది. బట్ pastoral economy, it had been replaced by agriculture. This is due to the rich fertile soil of the Ganga basin. Okay, rice became important crop, and it was called as Vrihi. The beginning of the Iron Age in India. It was the later Vedic period was the beginning of the Iron Age of India, and it was called as Krishna Aya. Iron was called as Krishna Aya. కృష్ణ అయా అనేవాళ్ళు అయర్ని, బికాస్ అయన్ అనేది చోటా నాగ్పూర్ ప్లాట్యూ, ఆ పక్క గంగా ప్లేన్స్ దగ్గర బాగా దొరుకుతుంది కాబట్టి బిగినింగ్ ఆఫ్ ది అయన్ ఏజ్ ఇన్ ఇండియా, దట్ ఈస్ కృష్ణ అయా. సో రైజ్ ఆఫ్ urban centers in the Ganga basins, they were Hastinapur, Meerut district UP, Hastinapur and Kaushambi in UP, and Ahitchatra and Kampilya or Raebareli in UP. It was the capital of Panchal. Ahitchatra, Hastinapur and Kaushambi. From La Excellence, the later Vedic period economy. The Aryans now lived in a sedentary life. They settled in one place. They lived in a sedentary life. They domesticated animals, and they cultivated on a greater scale than earlier. And they cultivated even sugarcane. The cattle still constituted the principal form of movable property. The cattle still constituted the principal form of the movable property. So wheat was also cultivated during this period along with barley. Wheat was also cultivated. Rice is mentioned in the sources but was not an important crop at that time. But beans and sesame and pulses such as moong was also cultivated, and urad dal etc. was also known. The new artists and craftsmen also emerged. Smelters, ironsmiths, carpenters, weavers, leather workers, jewelers, dyers, potters, all these were present, and trade also was boosted because they had settled. However, the barter system persisted. Economy of the late Vedic period from the Senior notes, the most important development in the country was the introduction of the iron technology called as Krishna Aya. Krishna means black, Aya means metal, black metal, with the iron technology tools um, equipped for required with the iron technology tools required for production were made available at the cheaper cost. For the are required for the production, for cultivation, everything they were available at the cheaper cost. In other words, iron technology democratized the production process. Iron technology democratized the production process. As a result, the agricultural production increased drastically, leading to the surplus. Thus the trade and commerce increased. It increased, and urban centers were formed to the extent that the later Vedic period was called a second age of urbanization. It was called second age Krishna Aya. Then it was called a second age of urbanization. So increased commercial activity led to the formation of the craftsmen associations called as shrenis or guilds. Increased commercial activities led to the formation of the craftsmen association called as shrenis or guilds. A typical pottery was manufactured called as Neolohita. Neela Lohita. It was called as Neela Lohita. Technically, called the painted graveware. Neela Lohita అంటారంట painted graveware ని. Typical pottery was manufactured, and expanded agriculture activity in turn led to the social and political changes also. Socially, the position of the Shudras అనేది it improved. Very good, because of the agriculture improving, so it led to political and social changes, leading the position of the Shudras improved. The Vaishyas left out the agriculture and they moved on to trade and commerce. Within this, they increased prosperity within with the trade and commerce. They increased their prosperity and enabled the kings to maintain the bureaucracy and the standing armies to expand their territories. This Vaishyas helped the kings to maintain the bureaucracy, and they help them maintain the standing armies and to expand their territories.